What's up, everybody? I don't know what happened. I was just on Instagram Live for about 15 minutes, and the audio seemed to have gone out, so had to restart the live. But nothing is going to stop me from being able to provide you guys with this value and with some sauce as you, go throughout your journey. So, typically for those that are in the audience, like I said, what I like to do is go live once, twice a week, interact with individuals that have questions about financial literacy. I like to call it freedom literacy. It revolves around whatever you have questions about budgeting, saving, investing, the markets. At Sent Me, like I said, we work with a lot of individuals to help them drive towards their financial goals through education. Our goal is to make complex simple. And we've been doing that for a very long time. We do that through our newsletter. We do that through our coaching program. We do it through our community group. We have a course, etc. A lot of resources, and we have a great team of people behind the scenes that make all this possible. So, I just wanted to go on live and, answer questions that people may have. Like I said, if you have any questions about freedom literacy, how you can do better, how you can learn, how you can grow. Hey, what's up, bro? Thank you for letting me know. Hopefully the audio is better for you now and you can hear again. I'm not sure what happened. It was weird. It was weird. The audio went down. I think I got a call in the middle of the session. But anyways, like I said, building on the discussions that we were just talking about previously, making sure that you're, locking in on those investment goals. It's working out. Cool. Sean, what's good, bro? My man Sean's in the building. You guys got to make sure you follow Sean on Instagram. Follow Sean over on X. We do Twitter Spaces on X once a week. And we also got some cool stuff cooking behind the scenes, teaching people about freedom literacy, Bitcoin, stocks, whatever it is. Especially Bitcoin, though. Understanding sound money, hard money. That's what we're about here. That's exactly what we're about here. So, but like I said, anybody that has questions, drop them in the comment box. There's a lot going on in the markets right now. But as I always say, when you have that long-term approach and you're thinking about what you want to achieve in the future and you're committed to what your goals are, you don't really care about short-term volatility. That's the problem for a lot of people, is they try to time the market versus being in the market for a long time. I call it time in the market is not the same thing as time in the market. I'll repeat that. Trying to time the market is not the same as the time that you spend in the market, right? It's kind of like the Warren Buffett approach. You buy assets, you buy things that appreciate over time, and you hold them. Most of the people that are in this world that invest, some of the wealthiest people, they buy assets. They buy assets. They make their money work for them. They buy assets that generate cash flow. They buy hard money and they hold it, and they set it up where they have trusts that own their assets, and then they pass all those assets on to other generations to come. That's a fact, right? So for you may not have millions of dollars right now, but it doesn't mean that you can't march towards your goal of accumulating assets. For me, right, and when I think about it, it all comes down to somebody really caring. I said today on social media that someone's got to secure the bloodline. It might as well be you. So at the end of the day, like, if you think about an example like Walmart, like the Walton family, hypothetically speaking, if Sam Walton didn't have the idea for Walmart, there would be no Walmart as it exists today. Now, I'm sure when he started Walmart, he did not think that Walmart would become this like $100 billion, multi-$100 billion enterprise. Or maybe he did. Maybe he knew the potential. Who knows? But I would probably assume that he may not have thought the impact or how big the business would grow, that it would grow to this point today. But the point is that someone had to make the decision, and he was that person that made that decision for this family, right? So same for you at the individual level. Like, if you just think about kind of like where you want to go for your future and your family. Maybe you have kids, maybe you want to get married, and maybe you want to have kids down the road. But at the end of the day, like, if you can take incremental steps today to do something for yourself, to learn about freedom literacy, to learn about how you can budget more, to learn about how you can invest, to learn about how you can invest in hard money assets like gold, Bitcoin, etc., you are doing yourself and your future bloodline like a huge blessing. You're taking information and a desire and curiosity to learn. You know, that's huge. And Sean, thank you for the comment. Sean says he walked into the first Walmart in Bentonville. Walmart was supposed to be a smaller project. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. So, you know, like at the end of the day, like Sam Walton didn't think that Walmart was going to be what it was, and it turned into this big business, but that was his mindset. Nolan, what's good, bro? I see you in the audience too. Man, hold on. How do I add people to this, man? I might as well add you guys in here. If y'all wanna add some insight, man, feel free. Drop comments, whatever. For everybody that's listening on the live, Nolan and Sean, those are my brothers. They're in the audience right now. Follow them on Instagram. Follow them everywhere. Follow them on Twitter. Every week we host spaces on Twitter where we talk about different topics around markets, geopolitical, hard money like Bitcoin, gold. We talk about stocks, etc. But we really, really, really have a lot of value in those spaces. Our other friend Rashad, he's not on the space right now. On the Instagram live right now, but we all moderate the space and we host it. We got some cool stuff coming soon too in terms of other value add channels and different content. So y'all stay tuned for that. But you know what we're really focused on is spreading knowledge and information to the people. Like I said, there's a lot of stuff going on right now. So like I said, we need good people and good actors in the spaces that are like trying to share information. Like I said, we're all about helping people learn. That's really what it's all about. I think back for me personally in my investment journey, like I said, I'm 33 years old right now, but my background was in finance when I was in college. So I got exposed to some stuff at a really kind of formidable time in my development because I was like really attracted to that space. And I had some relatives, some family members, my parents that taught me some things too. And I had a older cousin that worked in finance, and he taught me a lot of stuff. And I looked up to him. I knew he studied finance and worked in finance. So I was like, well, hey, like if he's working in finance and he's done great in finance, clearly you can get a job working in finance. That made sense. So that was how I got in the space. But like the point I'm trying to make is the desire to want to learn, not just even what was taught in the book, in my finance books in college, but also having a desire to learn more outside of books. I think education is so important. Going as like school is so important, but also self-education is also just as important. I think a lot of times people will graduate from college and then they'll think that the learning stops. Like literally, I'm not saying you got to read 1,000 books a month, but you should be reading books. Like you should be learning. You should be like trying to better yourself. Read anything you want to. It doesn't even have to be just about investing and making money. But the more you read, the more curious you are to learn, the more your mind is going to expand. And you're essentially going to be setting yourself up to see the world differently, to understand like what opportunities exist as opposed to waiting for things to come to you. Like literally things don't just come to people, right? Like you could get lucky and something can happen, but at the end of the day, most people that have success in whatever capacity it is, they put in the work. Like they really, really committed to what they wanted to learn, to bettering themselves, right? Like they practiced, you know? They practiced. Sean, I appreciate you, bro. Yeah, man, hop up here. Like I said, it's real. Like I said, it's really real. You know, like at the end of the day, there's a lot out here to learn. There's a lot to learn. And I'm a firm believer in incremental progress and also like committing to learning something new. It doesn't even have to be like some astrophysics, right? Literally, you could learn one new thing a week or bi-weekly. You want to go down a rabbit hole and learn a different topic. Whatever it is, just be curious to learn. Be curious to better yourself. And especially when it comes to investing, like I said, because once you understand the foundational aspects and you understand what you want to achieve, it becomes way easier to do it. It becomes way easier because you're building on it, right? You're building on that progress, that incremental progress. You're not trying to be perfect, you know? Just that's how it goes. And at the end of the day, like, you know, one thing I want to add is no matter how much money you have or whatever it is or how many investments you have, you always want to make sure your mindset is intact. You always want to make sure you have that budget as your foundation. Because what I've seen personally is it doesn't matter how much money you make if you don't understand what's going in or coming in or what's going out, you're gonna lose it faster than you got it, right? Like there are people who make quote less money than maybe someone else, but they actually doesn't mean like they're living like this life of frugality and they're not like going to buy food if they want to, going out to dinner or having fun, but they're making their money work for them and they're investing in their future. Versus the person that wants to buy like a bunch of cars they can't afford or buy a bunch of consumer items or get caught up in consumer debt. Like that's how you get in a trap, right? Like earn your leisure. I like what they said. They always talk about assets over liabilities. Like that's real. Assets over liabilities, right? Like you really want to pay yourself first. You want to make sure that whatever you're doing, that you understand why you're doing it that way, and you know at a minimum what's coming in and what's going out. Once you understand that piece, then you can start building on those foundational layers too, like building on top of that to build up a bigger thing for yourself, right? Like I don't care how much money you make. If you don't understand what's coming in and what's going out in terms of your income and your expenses, it's very hard to operate from that standpoint. Unless you're making like stupid money because you like have some crazy tech business and you have so much money coming in all the time. But even still, those people go broke too. It's not just the athletes. People like to just act like just athletes and celebrities go broke. People go broke all the time. Executives go broke all the time. So at the end of the day, like you have to understand and run your own race. You have to really understand that foundational aspect. A lot of people sometimes think about budgeting as like restricting. It's not restricting. It should feel liberating. It should allow you to really be able to say, okay, this is what I have. This is what my scenario is. This is what I want to be able to put away to invest. And this is how I want to build for this future goal. Right? Like literally, like you could set up a 2, 3, 4, 5, 10-year plan for yourself. And the idea is that the more you're learning and the better you're getting at understanding what you're trying to work towards, the more money you're going to earn from like your job because you're upskilling yourself. Maybe you have other endeavors that you want to do outside of work. So maybe you build a business or there's some other venture that you want to invest in. And then because you have that foundational aspect of understanding what your goals are, what your budget is, and you're learning about these different topics, you can then make that other money that's coming in work for you. Period. That's key. And the other thing I'll say too, and I think it needs to be said, is sometimes I think people want it so fast that they actually don't even think about like some things they feel are below them. You know what I mean? Don't ever like have that mindset where something's below you. Whether it's driving Uber to make extra money too, to pay off some bills, or it's flipping something online. Let's see. Let's get Sean up here. Yeah, it's the first time I've gone added someone to the live. Let's see. Is it working? Oh, Sean, what's good, bro?
That's good. Richard,
You know I had
can
to.
you hear
You
me
know I
all
had
right?
to. Huh?
I said, can you hear me all
Hey,
right?
hey, yeah. This is my first time, man. This is my first time bringing someone up on the front stage, man. You know, had to do it.
What's
Nah,
going on?
chilling, man. You know, I like to go live and really, just spread some insight to the people, man. You know, look like you just come from the gym.
Nah, I'm still in the gym.
You still in there? Oh man, this man's in
Yeah.
between sets, dropping a little. Listen, man, drop. What would you want to say to the semi community, man? What kind of gyms can you drop to the people right now in between sets?
Um, only thing I wanted to say was like how you mentioned with the earning power. Somebody could have somebody can make 100K in a year, and somebody else can make 40K in a year. What I always say is, you know it, but it's not about how much money you make. It's also about how much money you save and you
Yes,
have
sir.
what you can live. So I could be making $150,000 a year, but if I only got $1,000 saved up,
Mm-hmm.
what's the point of me doing that? But there's somebody else that's making half my amount. They're making 40, 50,000, but they got 60K saved up.
Mm-hmm.
Who's going to be better off in times of economic turmoil? The person that's making 150 that could get
Mm-hmm.
cut at any time, or the person that has 60K worth of savings, whether you save in gold, whether you save in stocks, whether you save in inside the markets, whether you save in Bitcoin, but who would be saved in times of economic stress? So yeah, that's my big thing. It's not about how much money you got, how much money you can earn. It's mostly about how much money you can save and how liquid you are as well.
Yes, sir. No, I mean you dropping a lot of points. I mean, I guess building on that point. there was an article that I saw earlier today. For those that may not have seen it, you could Google it, but it was talking about how unfortunately a lot of people are taking hardship withdrawals on their 401k,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I think there's a lot to unpack there. But I think for someone that may have a hardship and the fact that they have money in their 401k and they can take it out, that's a blessing. Even though you're getting hit with some penalties, at least you have
Yeah.
the mindset to invest in your future. And things happen. People lose their job, etc. But to your point, I think you highlighted something that's mad key is about liquidity. So if you have liquidity, whether you have some money in I don't know, a savings account, high yield savings, or maybe in a stock account, obviously we don't want to touch and sell our Bitcoin, right,
Yeah.
or gold or whatever. But at the end of the
That's
day,
facts.
that mindset, like you just said, is super important. So that's a lot of gems that you just unpacked in between sets.
No, I'm about done now. I just gotta hit my cardio now. Yeah, I was basically done.
Yeah. Nah, man. Nah, I appreciate you, bro. I appreciate you hopping up here and dropping these gems, man. Anything else you want to add before you get down with the cardio?
Uh, hey man, just stay humble, stack your sets, and just wait.
That's
That's
it.
all I can say.
Wise words, man. All right, bro. Appreciate you.
All right, doing it. No problem.
All right, later, Sean. Peace.
All right.
Nah. Sean dropped some gems, y'all. Like at the end of the day, everything he said, I couldn't agree anymore, right? Like you could be the person that's making 150,000 a year or 100,000 a year and have $1,000 in your savings, or you could be the person that's making 50,000 and have 20 or 30,000 in investments and savings. Jamal, for sure, bro. Oh, Jamal's in the building. What's up, bro? That man literally like hopped in mid workout and dropped some gems. Crazy. But I know y'all can relate, right? Like Jamal, Nolan, we've all had these conversations offline and about these different topics, especially with Sean saying about how you have that mindset. It's what you do with what you make and how you keep it in stores of value and how you grow it, right? Super important, especially in this environment right now, right? Like I don't know who knows what the future holds, but one thing we do know is that the cost of everything is going to get more expensive. I would prefer that all the people that are in this space that follow SITME, that are in our ecosystem, that if you take anything away from what we're talking about today, that you're building a nest egg for yourself for the future. No matter what happens, you make yourself as sovereign as possible. You make yourself less dependent on other people, right? Of course, like you want to have your job, you should have a job that you enjoy, right? If you don't enjoy your job, understand how you can like fast track the fact that the your exit to not have to work that job by investing and saving, right? That's another incentive to want to better yourself, to learn how you can build and apply some of these topics that we're talking about, things that we share on the Sent Me page and in the community to individuals, how you could really take that information to better yourself, right? Because at that point, then you're self-reliant. You're not as reliant on a job or anybody else to give you something for your bills or for your livelihood, right? Like I said, that's a tough place to be. So I encourage everybody to take those steps. The one thing I'll definitely say too, and I feel like it has to be said because I saw another article about the credit card debt crossing like 1.7 trillion dollars, which is absurd, right? Like just think about how big that number is, 1.7 trillion. Nolan, for sure, bro. Nolan said he's gonna hop up on briefly real quick. Nolan is one of my good brothers. Literally, we do a space. Me, Nolan, Sean, one of our other friends, Rashad. We do Twitter Spaces. We also have some other cool stuff in the works. But we always try to drop gems and really teach people about building on these topics that I'm talking about right now and other capacities, talking about geopolitics, talking about all that stuff. But to before Nolan jumps up too and add some gems for those that are listening, that credit card situation is real. It's real. It's real. And like at the end of the day, like this is a judgment free zone here. There are things that happen. Credit card debt, sometimes it may build up and you may not realize it. You may make some bad decisions or you may have messed up your credit when you were younger. But it doesn't mean that you can't change. I just had a conversation with one of my good friends about that, right? Like at the end of the day, like when you understand how the banking system works and credit card companies, they are essentially preying on high interest by default on money that they printed out of thin air to give you the credit card. So literally, like that's the highest return that someone can get. They're making money out of thin air, giving you the credit card. You're using the credit card to go buy something that you may need or not need. Hopefully, it's not something that you don't need, and you're using it to pay a bill, and then you're paying the credit card off. But in the case for the credit card debt in America crossing 1.7 trillion, that means a bunch of people, millions and millions of people, have a ton of outstanding credit card debt, and that's just not a good place to be. And the system is designed, at least with the credit system, they know that most people aren't going to be able to pay that stuff off. They know that. I was actually talking to one of my friends about that last night, and he was telling me how he saw this like old video from back in the day where someone was, doing, they were using their credit card to buy TVs, and back in the day, TVs used to be mad expensive, and then they didn't even realize that they were paying like 16% interest on the TVs. It happens to a lot of people. It's crazy. But you gotta really watch out for that credit card debt. About to add my man Nolan to the top of the space here. Nolan, what's up, bro?
Yo, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What's
How you
goody?
how you
What's
doing,
goody?
man? Hey, it looks like everybody's headed to the gym. This is my rest day.
Yeah, I gotta get something in, bro.
Hey, that's it. Between Sean jumping in mid set and then you on the way to the gym, man, I appreciate you jumping up here to add some gyms, man, to the
Man, of
people.
course. And man, you can hear me, right?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, bet. Yeah, bro. Now you dropping gems too. Talking about the credit, and it's really usury, bro. Like you said, I mean, they're printing money, creating money out of thin air, and then banking on the fact that you're not gonna be able to pay it and charge
Hmm.
you 30% interest later on down the line, keeping you trapped in the in the debt trap. So yeah, and Sean hit the nail on the head as well. Like, just we have to accumulate as many assets as we possibly can, and just yeah, for the times we're headed into, like,
Hmm.
if you don't have assets, it's not looking good for you. You know what I'm saying? So,
Hmm.
yeah,
What would you say?
like
What would you say, Nolan, to somebody that's starting off, right? Like, there's obviously different people at different stages. Like, if you were starting your journey right now, knowing what you know right now, and
yeah,
the information that you have, the field that you work in, what would you say to somebody that's brand new to investing?
I would say you need to get started now, right? And
Mhm.
you don't need a lot to get started. The whole concept of like,
Mm,
oh, my $20 a week or $50 a week isn't gonna do anything. That couldn't be further from the truth. Like,
mm,
you have to start with where you can start from, and then just graduate as you go. Um,
mm,
and you can see compounding interest like work is magic, quickly.
mm,
So that's kind of would be my advice, and then obviously from there is depending on it's depending on what assets you want to accumulate.
mm,
So of course we're big proponents of Bitcoin, but like even if that's too much in the deep end for you at the beginning, at
mm,
least start with the S&P, and then at least get your toes in the water, and then
mm,
from there, if you learn more, you can maybe graduate to 50-50 S&P Bitcoin, and eventually maybe go all the way Bitcoin if it fits for you.
mm,
But yeah, my biggest thing is just you got to get started, because there is this false ideology of, oh, when I'm making more money, then I'm gonna start investing. Like,
mm,
that's not how it's gonna go.
mm. Yeah, nah, bro. I mean, there's a lot of gems that you just dropped, and I couldn't agree with you anymore, right? Like, I always tell people slow motion is better than no motion.
Facts.
And, like, it's kind of like you said, going to the gym, right? Like, if you know that you want to lose weight, and you want to get healthy and you haven't been to the gym or you haven't ran in a while, why would you try to go bench 315 or
You gonna
run
kill
a
yourself.
marathon? You wouldn't do that,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. But you wouldn't wait until like, oh, wait until I can like bench press 315 and start doing push-ups. That's like a backwards way of thinking. Apply
Right.
that same logic like you just said to investing. Like start with what you can afford. Get your toes wet, right? Like dip your feet in the water because that incremental development and being better, a little bit better every day is going to add up. And compound is your best friend at that point.
It is. I don't know if Einstein said it, but what he said, compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. I'm
Yes,
telling
he
you,
did.
if you let compounding do its thing, and the beautiful thing about it, it's applied to investing. It applies to literally every facet of your life. If you continue to
Mm,
do something over and over and over every day, and let just compounding do its thing and grow, you're gonna
mm-hmm,
get better at whatever it is. So I just
mm-hmm.
love that kind of like principle in life.
Yes, sir. Yeah, nah, bro. It's like be 1% better. The wild thing is like when you look at that, there's a chart. I'll try to find it. I'll may share it on Instagram for y'all to check out. But it shows how incremental progress and 1% better every day is it like there's 365 days in a year. But of course, with it compounding and getting 1% better every day, that compounds way bigger than what you may think.
Yep.
So you're like I couldn't agree with you anymore in terms of what you're saying in terms of incremental progress and what Einstein said about compounded being that eighth wonder of the world. The wild thing is, like I said, with the credit card debt, and I know Sean dropped that point in the comments here. It could work against you if you're building up debts and credit card debt, and like you said, 30% compounding like annually, it could become real nasty. And they're counting on you not knowing. They're counting on you
Yep.
really not getting rid of that stuff.
Snowball effect, and yeah, they're counting on you too that the debt is garbage, right? Like it's maybe one thing if you're using credit card debt or using debt in general to acquire more assets. Like okay, maybe like I get that, but if you're using credit card debt or consumer debt to shop
Mhm.
and buy stuff that you do not need, like you are literally the bank's ideal dream person. Like
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? You're getting into debt to buy consumer stuff that you can't afford, probably to appease to somebody that doesn't really care about you, and you're
yeah,
now working to pay off debt. Like it's the ideal trap. And if you can get away from that, and again, instead use that money to accumulate assets and invest, you're gonna come out of that way better than falling into the debt trap.
absolutely. Nah, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Stay away from buy now, pay later, y'all.
Just
Stay away
facts.
from these loan sharks. If you have credit card debt, do whatever you can to pay it off as fast as possible because all that money you're paying the interest could go to more assets. And yeah, like I said, you're spot on, Nolan. I couldn't agree with you anymore, bro. Like
Yes, sir.
a lot of gyms being dropped on the way to the gym. I don't know what it is, man. Everybody that's on the way to the gym is just like they got a lot of positive energy, a lot of great things to say. But it all feeds up. You got to take care of your finances, but you got to take care of your health too. It's all important. You know what I'm saying? So
Like you say, financially fit. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna get healthy and get personally fit,
yes,
and it
sir.
all plays together, like you said. So, yes, sir, man. I'm happy to be on this with you, and I'm enjoying the next one you have, and just keep spreading that good word, brother.
Yes, sir, bro. And like I said, I'll see y'all boys tomorrow.
Yes, sir. You already know. All
All right, all right.
right, Brody.
Peace, Nolan.
Yep. Peace.
Nah, Nolan's good people. Great brother right there. Like I said, Nolan, Sean, myself, and our other friend Rashad, we host Twitter spaces every Friday. We talk about all this type of stuff I'm talking with y'all right now, but building on it. People could come up on the space, ask questions. People talk about their journey with investing, savings, you name it. But he dropped a lot of gems there, talking about just starting with what you can afford. Most people, they think they got to have a lot to start. It's not true. Start with whatever you can afford. I remember the first stock that I ever bought in my life, and I think I had like $200, $300, and I actually made money off that stock. It was called Cooper Tire, and I remember I read an article about it, did research. Like I was an intern, like my first internship, well, my second internship in college, but I didn't wait until I had a ton of money to start investing. That action of starting, and not like because my parents forced me, because someone gave me money. Like I literally went to worked all week, took a shot, studied a stock, and put the money in the stock market. Even if I lost the money on the investment, the act of actually taking that step to invest was powerful for me. It proved to me that one, I can do it. Two, that I had the capacity to learn about something and I learn about an industry that I didn't really know about and to analyze a company and buy it. And then three, it showed me that even though I'm at my job working, the idea that I could put this money in a stock market and it can grow and I can make money off of it while I'm literally working was super dope to me. That concept really, really gave me the charge and an extra battery in my back when I went back to school to continue building on what I learned from just applying my investment knowledge to my own experience. And like I said, if I waited to start with having a ton of money, I would never have had the progress that I had to understand how to make my money work for me at an early age. So if you're watching this video, no matter how old you are, whether you're young, whether you're older, and you're finally just kind of learning about this stuff, it's never too late to boss up. It's never too late to take your finances seriously. I actually wrote an article, a newsletter about that on our website sentmesays.com or sentme.com. We have a newsletter that I publish weekly called Sent Me Says, and I literally just talked about that. Like, you don't have to wait until you have a lot to invest. You start with what you can afford. It's gonna go a long way. But listen up, everybody. I appreciate everybody that came up here to learn. I appreciate the folks that jumped up on the front of the stage to add some insights and drop some gems. And listen, if you're looking to learn more about SentMe, our platform, what we do, how we can help you, check us out. We have a lot of great resources. We work with a ton of individuals one-to-one to help them on their goals. And it doesn't matter what your background is. You don't have to work in finance. You don't have to work in any high, crazy industry, whatever. We work with teachers, firefighters, doctors, consultants, tech people, you name it. It doesn't matter what your background is. If you just have a desire to want to learn about how you can make your money work for you, the Sent Me community has something that could probably fit where you are in your journey. I appreciate you, bro, saying that the live was fire. Listen, tune into all of them, man. We do these all the time. Tune into the Twitter spaces that I do with my homies. Drop a lot of information, a lot of gems. And send me a DM too, man, if you ever want to learn about how Semi can help you. But at the end of the day, I appreciate everybody that joined. A great live as always, and I hope y'all have a blessed evening. And I look forward to doing it again soon. Peace out, everybody.